What am I doing? Alright, well hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Disney College Program Lifeguard role, specifically at the Disneyland resorts. I have not worked at Walt Disney World, but I'm here to give you a little bit of insight into pretty much everything lifeguard related. I'm going to talk to you about selection process, testing, training, and kind of what my takeaway from that job was. So if that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. Okay, when it comes down to role selection, the recruiters have made it very, very well known that the more roles you put interest in, the more roles you'll be considered for, therefore a higher chance of getting accepted into the program. So this is not the time to be picky, especially if the program is a really big deal to you. Put as many roles as you possibly feel comfortable doing. Now, I'm not going to tell you to do something that you don't feel comfortable with, but that's just something to keep in mind. They'll announce what roles are going to be available shortly before applications drop. If you're looking for a place to find out that information, go on Facebook. Just look up the next term. So look up like DCP Fall Advantage 2019, and you'll find a page, and people will let you know the second applications drop. That way you're not going to miss it. Lifeguard will always be on there no matter what, because lifeguard is one of their hard to fill roles. Generally, the hard to fill roles are going to be housekeeping, lifeguard, and sometimes custodial. So those are the roles. If you feel comfortable in any of those or all of them, I highly, highly suggest applying for them, because it's very likely you'll get in the program. I didn't have any job experience. I had been trained as a lifeguard before, but the DCP was my first job ever, and I really do think it was a combination of being open to a variety of jobs and then having, of course, a good phone interview that landed me the Disneyland College Program spot, something very, very competitive, and I'm very, very fortunate that I got. So you've been selected as a lifeguard. What is your testing, what are your first couple days going to look like? So your first day with the company is your check-in day. You are going to be drug tested that day, so make sure you drink water. Don't go to the bathroom before you check in. You're going to be also taking a picture for your ID, so make sure you look nice. And just to warn you, you do have to take your drug test in front of somebody. It has to be monitored, but usually they'll just kind of stand outside the door, or they might even stand outside the bathroom. But it's kind of awkward, so just kind of be prepared for that. After you do check-in, you're going to have traditions and welcome to operations, orientation, all of those things for the company. So that'll be your first week, and then your second week will be more role specific. So that's where you are going to do your swim test. You'll do your swim test the first day, then you will do your CPR training, which is going to take, I think, 3 days, I want to say, and then you will do your on-the-job training for both pool attendant and lifeguard. So to get into the actual swim test, I'm not sure if it's the same, but when I was there, we did the Walt Disney World deep water test. All of our guards had to be deep water certified. Don't let that scare you. It's really not that bad. All that means is you have to swim 8 laps. You have to do a deep water brick dive and retrieve a 10-pound brick. And then you have to tread water for 2 minutes without hands. This might sound crazy to you if you're not a swimmer. It sounded really, really scary to me. I am not a swimmer, but Mama's about to give you some hacks. Okay, so for the regular swim test, the 8 laps, there's really no hack I can give you for that. That's just going to be practice. But don't worry. The pool that they test you in is not a standard size pool, and you're not going to be doing like 1 lap, 2 lap. It's just back and forth. So like 1, 2, 3. So it's really easy. Just make sure you're going to your public pool and training, because if you have never swam a day in your life, it might be kind of hard. But remember, it's just 1 day. I mean, you just got to do the swim test one day and then you're good for the whole time. As far as the brick dive goes, it's from about 6 feet for a 10-pound brick. You don't need to practice this. You will be absolutely fine, but I am going to give you some important information. So first of all, you're going to jump in feet first. After this brick, you'll go immediately to the bottom. It's only 6 feet. Grab your brick. The second you grab your brick, put it to your chest. Okay, you need to go up kind of like an otter. So push your hips forward and you need to like rise on your back. That is the biggest thing. If you can't float on your back, that is the only swim skill that you need. Work on your core and go to the pool every day. I'm serious. And work on it because you need to be able to float on your back. You can't even like do rescues if you can't float on your back. So practice that and make sure like that's solid. So you're gonna rise up on your back, and then once you get to the surface, they're gonna ask you to put it above your head. And legit, I have a lot of muscle, so I tend to sink. So when I get to the surface, I take in a big breath of air because that'll fill my lungs up, making me more buoyant. I hold it above my head. And then they'll be like, okay, drop it. Please don't like hold up your brick and drop it. Somebody dropped it on their head during my testing. Make sure it goes in front of you and then drop it. And that is literally it. That's literally it. Now treading. I cannot tread to save my life. Treading is so hard for me. And they expect you to do the egg beater. I can't. I can't do it. So this is going to be like really, really helpful for those of you who can't tread water, how to pass this test. So this is another thing where it's going to be important for you to know how to float on your back. Do not like float on your back. That's not treading, but you're going to sort of cheat it. While you're doing the tread, you have to keep your chin and your hands out of the water. So you'll have your hands up here and you just try to keep your neck high. Just circle your legs, and I'm not even joking. While you're treading, push your hips forward. So it's sort of like you're half floating on your back. You will tip back a little bit, but you'll float. I'm not even joking. You'll float. And just like tread, you know? And if you're still sinking, even while you're like pushing your hips forward, then I also recommend before you go, start practicing your breath holds. So I'm not even joking. What I would do is I would take a big deep breath, hold it for as long as I could, and then I'd sink a little bit as I let my breath out, and then I'd take a deep breath again. And I just kept doing that for the 2 minutes. Super easy. You'll pass with flying colors. The thing with the test also is that it's kind of impossible to fail for CPs. For CPs, they will keep testing you until you pass it. So I don't want you to think that you're just gonna be able to like pass the test and get a new role. They will keep testing you for all of these things until you pass. Alright, so you've passed your test and now you're getting into CPR training. CPR training is going to be about 3 days of learning how to do CPR, practicing CPR, watching videos, taking tests. It's a long day. It's like 8 hours of just doing CPR. Like, I had a bruise on the back of my hand from doing compressions. It's a lot, but it is such good training. I mean, this is a hard job. You're going to respond a lot to accidents and emergencies. And so you really, really need to know this stuff, and you will. Like, don't even worry. You will be so solid after your training. So you've done that, you've passed your test, you're officially licensed as a lifeguard. You're going to be going out on the deck with trainers, pool attendant, and lifeguard. As a pool attendant, you're just restocking towels. As a lifeguard, you'll learn the positions and how to like switch off and kind of how that works. Super easy stuff. You'll see, and you'll learn like all the rules when you get there. It's really easy. And then you have to take a test after both of those trainings. It'll ask you like where the emergency meeting zones are, what the lines mean in the pool, just like sort of things like that. But your trainer will prepare you, absolutely. Just pay attention, of course. So you've done all that, and now you are a guard. I'm gonna be real with you. Being a lifeguard was the most stressful time of my entire life. It was really, really scary. Because like I said, this is a lifeguard role where you are going to use your skills. You will wrap broken arms, and you will see seizures, and you will be in that pool rescuing people every single day. It's not any fault of Disney's, it's not any fault of the guards. It's just a big tourist spot, and tourist spots bring a lot of people, and so you're going to have a wide variety of people, obviously. Most of your guests are going to be absolutely amazing, super respectful, but not all of them are. Sometimes your guests may have had a little too much to drink. Sometimes maybe your guests don't speak English. Sometimes they'll pretend they don't speak English. And sometimes people just think it's Disney and they can kind of get away with whatever they want. And when you have hundreds of people on a deck, you're going to get a couple of those people. And remember, you have to be that person to yell at that person. It doesn't matter if that person is 3 times your age. You have to yell at them and put them in line. And lifeguarding is the only role at Disney, I think, where you can just flat out scream at somebody. Like, you really, really will. And you're expected to. So that's one thing. But yeah, it can feel pretty overwhelming. Like, I'm not gonna lie, especially in summer. And it doesn't matter what program you do, you will be working in summer at some point. It's gonna be hard. And pool duty is, like, every break you get, you're just gonna want to sit and just lay flat on the floor. But you're gonna have to do pool duty because the towels will be full, the dirties will be full, and the cleans will be empty. And so you'll have to, like, run down to the underground and, like, switch things out. So you're not gonna get a break. During my summer, we were working mandatory 6 days and 60-hour weeks. Yeah. So you're having this job that's incredibly stressful, and you might be in school. I was still full-time in school, and it was really, really hard. But, you're also having all these experiences that make up for it. You have passes to go to the park whenever the heck you want, which is great. You're having these classes where you're meeting these legendary Disney people, and the people in the college program themselves are incredibly, like, inspiring people. They're so inspiring, they're so funny, they're so awesome. Another thing is the guards that you work with, you will get so unbelievably close to them. I mean, as you can imagine, when you're practically living with them as you are, you get really, really close to them. And the people I trained with, the other CPs I did my training with, they are like family. They really are. They're like my best friends in the whole world. You have to know that you can rely on these people. You are never alone out on that deck. You will always have people that have your back. And that is one of the most relieving things about this job, is you are never, ever alone. So aside from that, that's pretty much it. I'm going to talk a little bit about Inservice, because in able to keep your license, you have to go to Inservice. I can't remember. I want to say it's every month or every other month. I'm not totally sure, but you will be doing Inservice. It's mandatory to keep your license. You go to the pool at like 7 a.m. It's freezing, and you backboard people, you do CPR, you do scenarios, but it really just keeps you up to date. It's not fun, but that's just another kind of weird bonding experience for you and your other guards to have together. Another thing about what we wear, your shoes at Disneyland are provided to you. So in your first couple days, you'll all go take the tram backstage, get your shoes. You wear white shoes, white ankle socks, but you'll see all of that when you do your training. You don't need to buy anything unless you want to wear sandals. Nobody really wears them, but just like black sandals. I have mine here. They're not strict at Disneyland with like Disney look, so they're supposed to be all black. Mine had gray. Nobody cared at all. As far as pay goes, you get $11.25. That's what I was getting, $11.25 an hour. So you can imagine, in summer you are making tons of money. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything I can think of. If you guys have any other questions or comments, just leave them in the comment section below. I'll reply to everything. And if you guys have any more video ideas about the DCP, any questions about Disneyland specifically, you can leave those down below too, and I will do it because I've been crazy inspired lately. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope you have a magical day.